just kill my youth. Promise me that our love will run smooth. We could be something new, 'cause all I need is you. No more goodbyes, we'll start on something new. I know you want it too. No more goodbyes, 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 no more goodbyes.
Do you lie awake at night? Are you afraid to turn out the lights? Is there something you're scared of? What's there out in the dark? Make sure to keep all your windows locked. Do you surrender? You try to stay awake. These walls you can't escape. Here's one for the lonely hearts, for the ones that fear the dark. You better run out of here. Bet you can't look the other way. Here's one for the broken road. That's the only one you know. You better run out, truth or dare. Get me out, take me anywhere but here. Oh, anywhere but here. Wanting something good to come, waiting for things to run away from. Are you just hiding? Yeah, walking into the fire, talking like you never die, like you're immortal. You try to stay awake. These walls you can't escape. Here's one for the lonely hearts, for the ones that fear the dark. You better run out of here. Bet you can't look the other way. Here's one for the broken road. That's the only one you know. You better run out, truth or dare. Get me out, take me anywhere but here. Here's one for the lonely hearts, for the ones that fear the dark. You better run out of here. Bet you can't look the other way. Here's one for the broken road. That's the only one you know. You better run out, truth or dare. Get me out, take me anywhere but here. Oh, anywhere but here. Oh, anywhere but here.
Hello, everybody. How are things going? Happy Sunday. Small, what's going on, man? Pilot Dave, welcome. Buck, always good to see ya. We are ready to go flying. Somebody give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear everything okay and the stream sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and get us fired up here in the cockpit. Go ahead and file the plan. Going to go Toronto International all the way down to Charlotte. Should be about a 2-hour flight. And according to VATSIM, we should have quite a bit of coverage on that flight. So,
Come back, make me feel like you're here.
this is interesting. I think, yeah, you guys can see this. Check this out. I've flown out of Toronto before, but it's been a while. But we've got interesting textures right up here. A lot of hills and bumps built in. Let me switch the camera here so you can see maybe the front right. Definitely not going where that Marshall is because I don't know what the heck's going on with the pavement, but it does not look good. So I'm going to avoid going that way. But yeah, that's kind of a fun way to start it. Hey Buck, give me a thumbs up if you can hear everything okay. The audio's good and all that. Just want to make sure I'll turn down the music just a smidge here. And let me just look at everything and make sure all of the volumes look good. I think we're good. At least everything I'm showing. Alright. We're connected. We're loaded in up there. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get the battery turned on and get this thing somewhat alive here. Get those overlays up so you guys can see as we start getting everything set up. Get those checklists going.
Cockpit checklist. Battery amps, check. Interior exterior lights, check.
Precog lights are on.
ATIS, clearance.
Alright, we will go ahead and get ready and start grabbing the ATIS and everything here in Toronto. Let's go and see what it is here. 128.25. Just gotta go ahead and pause that music for right now while we grab this stuff. Yeah, 128.25 should be the ATIS. That is our active frequency, not hearing anything. Alright, well, we'll just look it up here. I'm going to go ahead and import the flight plan. Get the winds there real quick. See if I can remember. I think we can grab the ATIS from here. Don't recall for sure. Let's see here. I know we can get the METAR. Two 902. Wonder why that's not playing the ATIS. 2825. Volume's good on VPilot. Oh. Oh, that's fun. So a message up on the VPilot screen says, we're aware of an issue with VATSIM audio. Disconnecting and reconnecting may solve the issue. Updates will be posted in Discord. Okay. Well, let's disconnect and then reconnect and see what happens. And if that does not work, we'll still make the flight. We may just do it without VATSIM. Oh yeah, Buck, your new splitter slash duplicator gets delivered tomorrow, right? I think you said. Hopefully that will work. Yeah, based on what you said, it sounds like everything you're doing is the same as what I'm doing. So I'm wondering if you just got a faulty unit. That would suck if so. Steven, what's going on, man? Am I connected to VATSIM? I am right now, but I'm just trying to tune in to the Toronto ATIS and I'm not hearing anything. So and I saw the message they posted saying something about audio issues, so I'm wondering if that's what I'm running into. Let me go over to the tower and just see if I hear anything there. Is it down for everybody? Do you know? That would suck if so. Of course, the one time I want to stream. Haven't streamed in a week. Well, we can get those tunes going again here while we're waiting, I suppose. Huh. Quick radio test and I heard it. Oh, no, that was them sending a message. Toronto Tower. Push back in my discretion. Somebody sending a message. Hop back over to the ATIS one more time and see. I think maybe I'll just do a radio check here and see if they can hear me. .7 is Toronto Tower. Toronto Tower radio check.
Number 316 Bravo Papa, readability 5.
Connect and Rika. Well, I heard him. Let's try it one more time. Disconnect, reconnect. I mean, we heard him, so we're good on volume and voice services there. Alright, reconnected. Let's hop back over to the ATIS.
5.
There we go.
Altimeter 2992. IFR approach ILS runway 24 left. Departure runway 23. Voice advisory. Goose and small bird activity in the Toronto International Area. Inform ATC that you have information. Bravo.
Wait.
Toronto International Information.
All right, we got Bravo. We're looking at 2-3 on
Canada
departure.
453 is cleared to Boston via the Captain 3 departure. Bump by transition, then is filed.
2-3.
Departing runway 23, squawking 5757.
All right. I'll take a peek one more time.
453, read back correct. Push start your discretion. Advise ready for taxi. Push our discretion will call you for taxi, Air Canada 453.
All right, so we got tower, we've got departure, and we've got center. So we are good to go here, but we will call up tower for our clearance. Let me just get familiar with what we're doing so I can make sure that I jive with everything he says.
2403, tower radio check.
Reach you 5x5, Condor 2403.
Condor 2403, Kraken. When airborne, contact departure 128.8. The wind's 270 at 13, gusting 19. Clear for takeoff runway 23. Good day.
I copy the winds. We'll contact departure on 128.8 when airborne. Condor 2403, cleared for takeoff, runway 23.
Toronto Tower Citation November 316 Bravo Papa, looking to pick up our IFR to Charlotte with Bravo.
November 316, Bravo Papa, tower hello. No flight plan on file. Please check your files.
Roger, we'll check. 6 Bravo Papa. Okay, well, we did file it. We will do it again. Toronto Tower Citation November 316 Bravo Papa, ready to pick up our IFR to Charlotte with Bravo.
November 316, Bravo Papa, tower hello. Standby 1.
Okay, Buck, I'll check the link. Multi-plug outlet. Okay, I'll have to look and see which one that is. Windrift, what's going on?
And November 316, Bravo Papa. I've got the clearance if you're ready.
Roger, we're ready. 6 Bravo Papa.
November 316, Bravo Papa. You are cleared to the Charlotte Douglas International Airport by the Beats 3 departure Foxy transition and flight planned route. Depart runway 23, squawk 6254.
Alright, cleared to Charlotte via the Beats 3 departure Foxy transition. Be taking off runway 23 and squawk 6254. 6 Bravo Papa.
November 316, Bravo Papa. Your read back is correct. Push start your discretion. Advise ready for taxi.
Alright. Didn't get a departure frequency. Didn't get an altitude.
Toronto Tower, Rouge 1515, ready to check.
Didn't get a lot of information, and that was interesting.
Rouge 1515,
oh well.
readability 5.
Well, we're going to depart via that departure, so...
Thank you, Rouge 1515. PDC is received, and I'll be calling you ready for pushback.
Leaving
Roger, can I have the identifier, please?
2-3.
Identifier is 602.
Climb heading 237 to 1100 feet.
Rouge 1515.
We'll go ahead and get that heading set at 237.
That's read back correct.
And we'll be at
Push start your
1100
discretion. Advise ready for
feet.
taxi.
The initial.
Thank you.
Climb right turn heading 245, or is assigned. Expect radar vectors to Murno and proceed via the depicted route. Alright, well. And any type of altitude restrictions, just that 1100 feet initial climb, nothing else on the departure. Okay. That was 423. Awesome. Alright, well, we're good there, so
trims set for takeoff.
Right. Go ahead and get some tunes back on here.
Weight and fuel complete. Takeoff data complete.
Power ready to check.
Takeoff data looks good. We will take those speeds.
V speeds set.
Got them.
Pressurization landing elevation set.
Landing elevation 723
Fuel
feet,
quantity
Charlotte.
and balance check.
Balance out.
Autopilot check.
Autopilot works. Go ahead and get those engines started.
Engine start checklist. Parking brake set.
Push started at your discretion. Large ready to
Seatbelt
taxi.
button on. EIS pass check.
Pass looks good.
Throttles idle.
Throttles are at idle.
Left and right generators verify on.
Verify they're on as we start up here. That's our 32 PSI and their starter for the right engine. What's up, Robert? How's it going, man? I'm having a good Sunday. I hope you are too, buddy. Alright, engine 1 is good. So the run stop on 2 with our 32 PSI and start that one up as well. Alright, we're squawking 6254, 299er2. Going to go ahead and start us out in heading mode since we're going to fly that runway heading according to the departure. Left and right generators are now both on. Left engine's a good start.
Bus tie verify open.
Bus tie is open.
APU off.
Go ahead and shut down the APU.
Flight controls check.
We'll go ahead and pull up that synoptic. It's always fun to look at. Alright, flight controls. There's up, down, left, and right. Left rudder and right rudder.
Speed brakes retracted.
Speed brakes are up.
Flaps takeoff.
There's one notch of flaps.
Avionics check.
Avionics are good. We got the flight plan in. We are happy with that.
Altimeters set.
299er2, we are good.
Nav source check.
Nav source is on
Ice
FMS.
protection check.
Ice protection not necessary based on current temperature outside. All right, you ready for the taxi checklist next?
1515, push start to your discretion. Large ready to taxi.
Alright, he didn't give us the departure frequency. Looking up here, it is 128.8, so I'm going to go ahead and get that queued up. So that will be ready to go, and then we will be going over to center at 125775 after that. We're good there. Alright. Everything looks good there. I'm going to back that out just a bit so I can see that first. Yeah, there's Murno down there at the bottom of the map, so that's where we should get our direct to eventually once we get through here. So, all right, give a quick look. If you guys can see, I'll move forward so you can see right back here behind me. Built a little holder here for another tablet to be able to see chat. I was grabbing it from an iPad over here from my phone, trying to be able to see, and I thought, you know what? Let's just mount a little tablet right here. It kind of hides behind me the whole time, so it's not an eyesore, but it allows me to see the chat a whole lot easier and be able to just glance over without getting too distracted here when I'm trying to fly, especially on VATSIM. So I'll get caught up to the chat here too as soon as we get in the air. Let me look real quick before we start taxiing. Small. Start doing them after 3 p.m. school start. Oh, that sucks, man. I know how that is. Yeah, so I'll talk about that a little bit once we get up in the air and get cruising. Some of the changes coming with the channel, including when we're going to stream, what time, and all that kind of stuff. So I think you'll be in luck on the weekends. Probably not, but if I do stream during the week, it definitely will be after 3 p.m. Central Time. I don't know what time zone you're in, but 3 p.m. Central Time should be well after that. We're looking probably, 8, 9 o'clock p.m. So. Three-sided 12 plug. What kind of plug, Buck? I'll have to look that up. Is it a USB plug? Multi-plug outlet. Oh, like a power strip. I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, it's got 3 different on all 3 sides of it. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Oh, that's not... Oh, the link's not working for it anymore. Okay. Or it's not available. That sucks because that's a great power strip. I love that power strip. Crap. Tim, what's going on, man? Tablet below the window is reminiscent of a lot of airplanes and flight simulator. Yeah, keeping a simulator-ish, yeah. Little throwback. I didn't want to get too real on here, so we got to keep it like the sim. Now, that was the only place, honestly, I had to mount it, and I like the fact that it's usually going to be between me and the camera, so it's not a big eyesore there. Oh, no! Tim, you showing up just reminded me of something. Stand by. 1 second. How could I have been so careless? I had him charging over in the window to see if maybe he would wave a little bit more now that, but I have a feeling he's going to stop here in a little bit. Yeah, we can't forget Kevin Spacey. Gotta have him in there. Dallas time zone, small, that would be central. So yeah, we're in the same time zone, so whatever times you see me posting, it ought to match up perfectly with you, so excellent. Yeah, we could not forget Kevin. It's like watching Home Alone, but with a different, yeah, very different Kevin. Regardless of what you've seen in the news. Okay. All right, I think we're good. We're good. I'm getting hot. Turning a fan on. Get that iPad there. I forgot to charge it, so it's got to stay plugged in. Got a notepad over there. Got my phone. We're ready to taxi.
Taxi checklist. Taxi clearance.
Gonna go ahead and kill the
1515
music here while we're getting ready
Alpha
to
Mr. 2992, taxi via Alpha Hotel.
Taxi to runway 23 via Alpha Hotel, altimeter 2992, Rouge 1515.
Lufthansa 471, runway 23, altimeter 2992, taxi via Delta Alpha Hotel.
Toronto Tower, Citation 6 Bravo Papa is ready for taxi with Bravo.
November 316 Bravo Papa, runway 23, altimeter 2992, taxi via Delta Victor Delta Alpha Hotel.
Taxi to 23 via Delta Victor Delta Alpha Hotel, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright. Delta Victor Delta Alpha Hotel. Got it. I think. Yeah, okay, we can follow that. Alright, got our
Exterior
clearance.
lights, check.
Go ahead and fire up those taxi lights.
Brakes, check.
Yeah, we'll find out here in a second. Alright, parking brake coming off and we are rolling. Come out of here and head left. 747 over there. A Lufthansa 747.
Tower, Canada 453 short of spot 6 Alpha, ready for taxi.
Air Canada 453, runway 23, altimeter 2992, taxi via Alpha Hotel, hold short of
brakes
Alpha.
are
to allow
working, by the
320
way.
Nose wheel
left to
steering,
right.
check.
It is working as
Thrust
well.
reversers, check.
Alpha Hotel will hold short of Alpha to allow the 320 to pass
Left is
by
good.
Air Canada 453.
Right is good.
V speeds, displayed.
These speeds are on.
Speed knob, check.
Speed knob is on FMS, and I want to see where Victor is. I think it's right here. I think we just went past it, actually.
Air Canada 453, follow that A320.
Follow the A320 Air Canada 453.
We're actually going to go Delta Tango, but let's see if he yells at us for it. I doubt he will. Seems like a nice guy. Alright, nobody coming from the left there. On to Victor we go. And we will take this down to Alpha.
Crew briefing.
Alright, crew briefing. Not much on this departure. We're going to climb to 1,100 feet and fly heading 237 as we go. And then should expect vectors. Or possibly direct to Murno as our first waypoint.
Weather radar.
I don't think we need it. Let's take a peek at it though. No, no weather around here. Wasn't any when I looked earlier. Put our regular map back here as I go back and forth down the runway. Alrighty.
Pitot static, check.
We are good on the pitot heat. Okay, taxi checklist is done. Next one will be after takeoff. Alright, so we're taking Delta now. We're going to look for Alpha. Which, I don't believe this is it. Could be our next turnoff. Pretty sure we're following that 747 actually, so should be pretty easy to keep up here. Or to know which direction we need to go. Alright, this should be Alpha.
Toronto Tower, good day. Golf Whiskey Delta Sierra North GA, looking for taxi to the active VFR to City Center.
This is fun. We're going to be right behind a 747. I wonder if we'll get caution wake turbulence.
Beat across Bonanza, Whiskey Delta Sierra.
I don't want to follow too close to him. I don't want to blow us out of off the runway. Hey, that's a good question. If we come up to a stop here, I'm going to see if Tim is still in the chat. Or I'll just ask you right now. Tim, if you're in the chat, what's the rule for taxiing in real life? You know, is it like stay 5 plane lengths behind the person in front of you? I mean, I realize that this 747 is not going to go, you know, full power right in front of us here down the taxiway, but I was just curious what the safe traveling distance is. Alright, so we're going down Alpha now to Hotel. Actually, to Delta and then to Hotel.
Winds 270 at 13, gusting 19, clear for takeoff runway 23, good day.
When airborne, contact 128.8, clear for takeoff.
What the heck, we got a split. Alpha is to the right. The 747, I think, almost missed the turn. No rule, when you smell his exhaust and stinks up the inside of your plane, you're too close. Makes sense. Roger that.
Runway 23, the winds 270 at 13, gusting 19, the altimeter 2992, taxi via
I always forget that
left,
PFD,
hold short 23 at
you're not on a chart, but it still gives you a pretty good view of top-down view of what you're looking at. The Navigraph charts are awesome too, obviously, and they list the taxi ways they don't on the chart here in the game, but you can still get a pretty good idea. Nobody coming this way. A little bit of a long taxi here. I kind of looked up, well, I didn't pull up like the map to see what it labeled as GA parking, but I just selected one when I spawned in on the world map that said GA ramp. And at the time, I thought it was going to be fairly close to the runway, because I think they were taking off 24 right, or the game showed it would be taking off 24 right, and I would have been right next to it, but obviously VATSIM, we're going 23, so that has us going a long way here. It's fine though. It's already going to be a fairly long flight, might as well be a long taxi. I don't like my stutters that I'm getting while taxiing here. I already turned down some settings.
490 Tower, hello. Can you just confirm your intentions today as you filed IFR back to this airport?
Pearson Tower, Roger, standby 1. And Pearson Tower, Hawker 490, I've refiled.
If I let off, that really seems like it's
490, Roger.
pulling hard to the left.
Air Canada 453. When airborne, contact departure 128.8, the wind's 270 at 13, gusting 19, clear for takeoff runway 23, good day.
Clear for takeoff runway 23 over to 120.8 upon, or sorry, 128.8 upon airborne. And yeah, good day.
Hawker 490, you're still showing as returning to CYYZ.
And Pearson Tower 490. Just filed for destination Hotel Zulu.
490, Roger, your route looks like that. Are you happy for me to update your destination to Halifax?
Alright. Clear left, and we will pull up here and get in line. Looks like 2 of them are waiting in front of us. Fun stuff. Normally we don't get much traffic here whenever I stream, but I try not to pick the busiest looking area when I pick an airport to fly out of, because I'm not that good, and so I don't want to mess things up for other people. But yeah, a couple people waiting here at Toronto, so fun. There goes an Air Canada. And the 747, whoa, slammed on the brakes. Had him bouncing a little bit. Alright, we'll hold short right here, that way we can catch him at our left window when he takes off.
Everything in the clearance, our flight plan is correct. We're ready to copy the atmosphere.
Alright. Be holding short and waiting for them. Alright, let's try and catch up some chat here. You know, when entering frequencies, you can skip the first and last digit, for example, into the... Oh! Very cool. I will start doing that. I did notice that it does just kind of fill it in automatically, like, it's never going to be anything outside of 1, so... Good call. I didn't know that about the last one, though. Like, I've always wondered that when you've got, like, you know...
Yeah, Hawker 490, sorry, stand by. Whiskey Delta Sierra, line up runway 23 at 15 left, your number 1 for departure.
Line up runway 23 at 15 left, Whiskey Delta Sierra.
Okay,
Lufthansa 471, your number 2 for departure, line up runway 23 at hotel.
It looks like Lufthansa in front of us is using the text to communicate. I think. Yeah, that's him. Okay. But no, that's cool to know about the last digit. Reg simulation, what is going on?
Lufthansa 471, there's going to be a short delay just while other aircraft depart.
This is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, Buck, the GTCs are fun with the knobs, especially if you get them, you know, doing pretty much exactly what the ones do in the actual unit. And I think you said you're going to do the Stream Deck Plus route. I don't think you're actually going to build the encoders, or maybe you are. I can't remember.
110. The wind's 270 at 13, gusting 19. Clear for takeoff runway 23 from.
Oh, my Streamlabs bot is going crazy.
Can you give us those departure instructions one more time?
Posted 3 in a row. Okay.
Whiskey Delta Sierra on departure, turn
Oh,
left.
drink some water. Okay.
110.
After that, we'll make a left-hand turnout.
Roger that.
110, clear for takeoff.
Water
3,
drop.
15 left, Whiskey Delta Sierra.
Pilot Dave. CJ4 does the same thing when entering the frequency. Excellent. Yeah, so I apparently have those Streamlab bots, timers, chat things not staggered correctly. Have to fix that. Well, for this stream, you may see them all pop up all at once like that, so apologies if so. I think I have them like on every 30 minutes or something. Hey, this is a good example of how I got the views pretty well lined up. So here we got the front of the 747 and then its butt sticking out the back there. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. Alright, we'll continue to listen here for our clearance. And then, yeah, brief this one more time. So 23, unless otherwise assigned, we'll climb on 237 heading to 1100 feet. Climbing right turn heading 245, or as assigned. Expect radar vectors to Murno, and then proceed on from there.
Tower United 838 at stand 173 is requesting clearance.
I have no idea
to Dulles
who
as well.
he was talking to. I thought he said my call sign.
That was for Whiskey Delta Sierra, it was blocked.
Whiskey Delta Sierra, you can turn direct on course now, not above 2,500.
Alright, we'll turn on course, not above 2005, Whiskey Delta Sierra.
Lufthansa 471. The wind's 270 at 13, gusting 19. Clear for takeoff runway 23.
Alright, we should be up next. Okay, Stream Deck, cool. Yeah, I think you'll like it. I'll have a video coming up on
November 316 Bravo Papa, line up runway 23.
Line up and wait 236 Bravo Papa. I'll have a video coming up on how I coded those and the AAO, the profiles I use, all that kind of stuff. So I guess stay tuned for that. But if I don't get that out for a while and you're trying to get your stuff set up, just shoot me a message and I can give you a hand. Holy cow, you guys can't see it, but that 747
118.2,
just about ate shit off the end of the runway. Try and get around here. I don't know if you can see him. It's kind of foggy down there,
Toronto
actually.
Tower, United 838 at stand 173.
Good day, Whiskey Delta Sierra at 2000.
Right.
Whiskey Delta Sierra, wrong frequency. United, go ahead.
Yeah, requesting clearance to Washington Dulles as filed.
United 838, you are cleared to the Washington Dulles Airport via the Rigger 5 departure, then flight plan route. Depart runway 23, squawk 5574.
Lined up here on the center line.
Cleared to Dulles via the Rigger 5
Alright, our rotation speed is going to be 106.
Runway 23,
we are lit up. We've got one notch of flaps. We're ready to go.
United 838, your readback is correct. Push start, your discretion. Advise ready for taxi.
Will advise when ready to taxi, United 838.
I'm going to go ahead and go manual mode here for speed.
Tower, Hawker 490 still standing by.
Not get above 200 knots, just to, since we're not exactly sure how we're going to be coming out of here.
490, sorry, just to confirm, you are going to Halifax, aren't you?
Affirm, sir.
We're going to go 237 and then, yeah,
490, you're cleared to the Halifax
245
Airport,
once we've cleared 1,100 feet.
Transition and flight plan route. Depart runway 23, squawk 6306.
Hawk Air 490 is clear to Halifax Airport. Dead Key 5, flight plan Olaba. Flight plan route is filed. Depart runway 23, squawk 6306.
Hawker 490, your read back is correct. Push start at your discretion. Advise ready for taxi. Apologies about the delay there.
No worries, we'll advise ready to taxi. Hawk Air 490.
Lufthansa 471, contact departure now 128.8, good day.
Believe we are next.
November 316 Bravo Papa, the wind's 270 at 10, gusting 20, clear for takeoff, runway 23.
Clear for takeoff, 236 Bravo Papa. Go. Alright. Spool them up here. To 40, that looks good, and we're off. I don't like the stutters. Alright, there's gear up. There's flaps up. Gosh. That's almost doing what it did at Atlanta when it crashed the other day. Man, that was stuttery. Need to figure out what that's all about. Alright. 237 heading, and then we're going to go ahead and roll right into the 245. Should get handed off to departure here in a moment. Like I said, he never gave us an initial altitude.
November 316 Bravo Papa, contact departure now 128.8, good day.
Over to departure, 6 Bravo Papa, good day. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just hold here at 3,000 feet, I guess.
November 316, Bravo Papa, are you on frequency?
Roger, we just got handed over to you. We are 3,000 feet on 245 heading.
November 316, Bravo Papa, identified. Turn left direct Foxy on course, climb 15,000.
Turn direct Foxy and climbed 15,000, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go nav. Actually, no. Leave it in heading mode. We go ahead and go Foxy. Direct 2. Activate Direct 2. Go nav mode. Get 15,000 set up. We are there. I'm going to go ahead and put our speed back into FMS mode. It's going to speed us up to 250. And then I'll do flight level change to begin that climb. Alright, there's flight level change. Alright, after takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear, up.
They're up.
Flaps, up.
It's
Ice
up.
protection, check.
Not needed.
Pressurization, check.
It's good.
Altimeters, set.
292.
Exterior lights, check.
Lights are good till we cross
APU
10.
off.
And the APU is off. Confirmed. Alright. Alright, that looks good. We're going to be crossing 10 right here, and I'll kick these lights off.
November 316, Bravo Papa, climb flight level 220.
Climb up 220, 6 Bravo Papa. Go. Chris, what is going on? I have got a 4070 Ti and the CPU is a 1390 KF or something. Let me look. I have it in here because I've been asked that before and did not know off the top of my head. Yes, it is a i7 13700 KF, and then it's a 4070 Ti. Hey, Regs, it's a 4070 Ti, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That was stuttery as hell coming out of there. If you saw the one where we flew into Atlanta and I crashed on the landing, it all but became unflyable. That wasn't terrible, but that was still stuttery. But, oh, Chris, yeah, so the settings. No, I don't have any. The only thing on Ultra is the clouds. And then I have a mostly high and then a few mediums on stuff I don't feel like is really necessary. And then I have, I think, both of the line of detail sliders, terrain and object, both set on 100. I had it on 175 before that crash in Atlanta, so I thought, you know what, I need to turn it down because part of the reason was this is a 5120 by 1440 monitor, this front one. I did have it on 3850 or something by 1080 to match the two sides, the 1080 on the two sides. But I was messing around and stuff with views and trying to get everything level and all that across all three. And I found out I could still run this one 5120 by 1440 and get everything to look pretty consistent. And I like the higher resolution of it. But I'm wondering, I never changed the line of detail slider back from, making sure we're still on 2.9 or 9 or 2. I never changed it back from the 175, so I think that had a huge impact on it. But when I bumped it all the way down to 100, I thought that should take care of any stutters altogether. But yeah, coming there out of Toronto, it was still a little bit stuttery, and of course it's, you know, VATSIM traffic and all that. So I'll do a stream one of these days where it's not VATSIM and we're just flying normally and see if, you know, it calms down just a little bit. But that kind of bums me out because yeah, it's definitely, the machine can handle it for sure. If we were just
316 Bravo Papa, contact Cleveland Center now 119.87. So long.
Over to Cleveland Center, 6 Bravo Papa. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
119.87. All right, we're going to use Tim's logic here. 119.87. Looky there. Worked like a champ.
And Cleveland Center, Delta 361. Unfortunately, it looks like something just came up. I'm going to have to disconnect here. Thanks for your services today.
All right, very good.
Cleveland Center, citation November 316, Bravo Papa.
47, no rush, whenever you're ready. Runway 21 right, full length, clear for takeoff, Detroit wind 310 at 8.
Clear for takeoff, 21 right, Delta 2847.
My button not working? That one's not. That's weird. Okay.
Delta 410, radar contact climb.
That's why I thought I was getting stepped on, but my button over here did not register when I just tried to call that in. But this one seems to be working on the yoke, so we'll use it for now. Cleveland Center, citation November 316, Bravo Papa with you at 220, direct to Foxy.
316, Bravo Papa, Cleveland Center, climb and maintain, flight level 420.
Climb and maintain 420, 6 Bravo Papa. There we go, that's our cruising altitude we filed for. Alright. Let's get up there and get to cooking down to Charlotte. What was I saying? But anyway, yeah, so... But yeah, the machine, I mean, if I was flying with just this monitor and everything, it should be handling everything fine, probably with everything close to ultra settings. I do have that frame generation on that comes with the 40 series cards and all that, so... I mean, but I do have obviously 2 render windows going on in the sim, which really takes your FPS way down when you add those in. But and then of course everything being popped out and all the other stuff going on. Plus I'm streaming from that computer, so it's definitely under a load. But yeah, those stutters that I started having in Atlanta the last time, a couple times ago when we flew, the last stream, the one after the one in Atlanta, wasn't too bad. I don't think we had many stutters at all, but we weren't in a very heavy populated VATSIM area. There wasn't a lot of traffic or anything. But I don't know. We'll just keep messing with it. I mean, up here, obviously nothing's stuttering and everything's because we're cruising and, you know, there's nothing really to render in. So, but we'll keep watching it, see if anything starts going crazy with it or not.
And Cleveland Center, Delta 410.
Delta 410.
Yeah, just for any other aircraft coming out of Detroit, right after a couple seconds after departure, is a lot of turbulence, unstable crosswind.
Right, and level or smoothed out by 6,000.
Yeah, Chris, it is almost impossible to avoid stutters. Sounds like the guys that are running the 4090 are loving it. I think it's coming down on price, so getting a little better. The thing that gets me though is like now that, you know, it's back to normal, you know, the prices have come back to earth basically. Probably the 5090 or whatever, the next series is going to be right on the horizon, and how much better are they going to be? So I don't know. I was ready to upgrade, and so I wanted a 40 series card, but to get a 4090 over the 47 Ti was going to be like another $1,200, and I thought, okay, that's not worth it. So let's try the 4070. It's going to give me that frame generation, and so I thought let's get that and see how things go. And so it's done great. I mean, aside from stuttering when it probably should stutter, it's done fine. So.
All right, fly heading 360.
But it sounds like the best thing you can get right now would be a 4090, and then whatever the best is it AMD, whatever their best processor is. It's like a 7800 X3D or something like that. It sounds like that it handles Microsoft Flight Simulator better than Intel CPUs from what I've heard. So a lot of people seem to like that, but sounds like that may be the best thing you can get nowadays. But as of now, I guess I should say. You know, if auto throttles are turned off, they will still activate and keep the airplane from auto speeding. Yes, I did notice that when I started messing around with this new working title Longitude after they got finished with it. And I started just kind of playing around and messing with the auto throttles. And yeah, I realized when I took off and didn't activate auto throttles that even when I let it get over what it probably should get over in terms of like overspeeding and stuff, yeah, I saw him kick in and I thought, well, that's cool. So this plane does almost all but fly itself, which some people love, some people think is stupid. So I don't know. I love it.
Right, Delta Charlie, radar contact over Parkersburg. Descent at pilot's discretion, maintain 10,000. Pittsburgh altimeter 300.
128 gigs of DDR4. Wow, that's a lot of RAM.
You had 412 descent maintain.
Holy smokes.
Down to 4,000, yeah, it's 412.
Got a 13900K. Yeah, I think I used to have that in my old one that had a 3090 card, and that thing worked great. I just upgraded to the 4070 because I wanted the frame generation stuff in it. But yeah, that 13900 processor is awesome. In fact, I should probably almost take it out and put it in this computer with the 4070 Ti.
Radar contact climb to maintain flight level 310.
Flight level 420, that's right. I could have filed for the max 4.5, but I don't like to take it all the way up there. I don't want to live on the edge, you know? Chris, that is my thinking as well. I asked that in a message board the other day, just wondering if anybody has heard, you know, outside of all of the cool, like, gameplay modes and stuff it's supposed to come with, and, like, the career mode, if anybody had heard if anything was getting, like, upgraded in terms of, or if anything was getting optimized in terms of, yeah, like, the render windows not tanking your FPS, their non-existent home cockpit mode, if that was maybe going to get an update, but nobody seemed to know yet, so I guess we'll find out. Flight level 420 is an unusable altitude. What the heck does that mean? I'm using it right now. Does nobody fly 420? Like, is that something that's off limits? Or are you messing with me? In real life, it can't be used. I'll be darned. Didn't know that. There is a reason.
Speed restrictions, Delta 2847.
Well, VATSIM must not care because I figured the guy would have told me if I needed to file something different. Okay, well, good to know. I won't file 420 anymore. I'm holding out for the RTX 7090. I'm assuming you're making a funny and that hasn't been released yet, but if that has been announced, that would blow my mind. They're just skipping right over 5 and 6. I'm guessing you're kidding.
412, 12 miles from pits, fly heading 310.
Throttles will do the opposite when the airplane gets too slow. Yep. I've also noticed that as well. Yeah, it's crazy what this thing can do, this jet.
Left turn 310, maintain 4,000 until established, cleared for the ILS suite, left United 412.
Cleveland Center is busy today. Oh, let's put some music back on so you just have to listen to me the whole time. Let's give you guys some exterior views too. I bet you're getting bored of not seeing the jet. In this beautiful Citation livery. I wonder if I can zoom in far enough for you to see it. The guy that created it for me actually put Citation right under the window. Can you see that right there? And is that a female pilot in the pilot seat? Okay, well apparently my wife's flying. I'm just over there riding co-pilot.
020 direct Jamestown for Honda Jet, 86 kilo Mike.
I'm still at a loss for how the whole pilot getting the avatars in there works, because I always heard that if you don't put in a weight for them, like on the screen when you start the flight, which I don't, I just have the pilot weight in there. If you leave the co-pilot at 0, it won't spawn them in, but that's obviously not right because it just put both of them in, so I'll have to figure that out. Oh, here we go. Okay. It's IRL trivia time. Aviation trivia time with Tim. RVSM airspace goes from 29 to 41. 1,000 feet vertical separation required. Above that, 2,000 is required. Ah! So really, above 410, you can only get 4.3 or 4.5. Interesting. And good to know. I will have to I'll turn this music down just a touch so I can hear V-Pilot a little more in case he calls out to me. Okay, well that's good to know. Now I just need the little more you know thing to flash across the screen. We all did the same Googling. Windrift got it, yep.
United 412, runway 28 left, middle land, Pittsburgh wind.
Do I use ForeFlight? No, I use just Navigraph. I pay for that subscription, which honestly, in my opinion, is the most valuable and worth it subscription in flight simulating. That Navigraph, the things that you get from it, the charts, the app, everything the app can do, the integration now with some of these avionics, like the Longitude, obviously, the G5000, importing your stuff from SimBrief when you're on VATSIM, having the flight plan automatically just come into the FMS. I mean, that stuff's insane. And so, no, I use Navigraph. Yeah, I probably should have. My guess is the controller was like, I don't want to explain it to him, just let him have it.
3040, send up pilot, discretion, maintain level.
Yeah, Buck, I was pretty happy with it. He did a good job on it. I didn't spend a lot. I think I paid him maybe like $15 to do it. So I mean, he did get real elaborate with it, but I didn't want anything elaborate. I wanted something fairly simple, and he did not only simple, but then he also put those touches on there with the additional, Citation under the wingtip there, and obviously my number on the nacelles, and he obviously, I told him to kind of start out and just do what he wanted with it, and he did a great job. And then, of course, he asked me if I wanted anything changed, so I got some input in there as well. But, yeah, speaking of, I kind of mentioned it in, what did I put it in the thumbnail? Oh, I put a community post on the channel when I said I was going to be going live today. Some of the changes going to be coming to the channel. Streaming going to become more consistent and more often, probably about 2 a week is going to be the plan. One will be on the weekends, just like this. I don't know if I'm going to commit to Saturday or Sunday just yet. I'm going to actually come back inside here. Oh, actually, I can turn down the game audio for just me. Just a little loud between, plus the center controller is awfully quiet. I'll leave it outside though, so you guys have something to look at. But yeah, there'll be a Saturday, Sunday stream. One of those 2 days. I'll find out if I get more consistent, you know, which it's Saturday or Sunday, or sometimes maybe it'll be both. But YouTube tells me, the people that watch the channel tend to watch it on the weekends a lot more during the day. And that just proves too, like, I got, looks like, yeah, see there's 15 people in here right now. Like if I do a stream on a weeknight or something, you know, there's usually a lot less people, and I just feel like on the weekends people have more time to tune into this stuff. And so, you know, first of all, I need to stream when it's going to work for me, but second of all, I like to do it when it's going to work for everybody else. And so I found out that, you know, or I found that the weekends seem to work well. So there's going to be a stream on the weekend during the afternoon, you know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, somewhere in there, Central Time. And then in terms of weeknights, I still want to get one in there, especially for some of the international people, which I know, you know, might be nighttime, like right now when I'm streaming this. And so some late night streams do make it easier for them to watch. Plus, it just works well for my schedule if I do kind of a later night stream. So there will be a stream. I'm probably going to be shooting for maybe Wednesday nights, starting at like maybe 9 p.m. Central Time, where it probably won't be VATSIM. It'll probably just be a flight that we do. You know, I don't really want to use the game ATC. I really hate it with a passion. So maybe now we just won't fly with ATC. We'll still file a plan and do all that, and fly it realistically, but just may not be on VATSIM or with ATC. But maybe when Beyond ATC comes out, we'll give that a chance. If it turns out being as good as they say it will be, I would love to use that maybe on some weeknight streams. And so that's kind of the plan, basically. So maybe 2 streams a week. I still like doing the 360 view videos that I do. Come back in the cockpit here. I still like doing those 360-degree view videos. People enjoy watching them, I think, and so the plan will be to continue to do those as well. Maybe, I mean, if I can get one a week out, I'd love to, but if I can't, they'll just kind of come when they come. And then, you know, I'll try and put out a short now and then. I've kind of got a little funny format I've got going now. A little shtick that I do with the shorts, so I'm going to continue doing those. Seems like some people like those, so maybe a short a week, and then really want to get back into the home cockpit stuff. Maybe doing some more videos about how I did some of this stuff. You know, just some videos showing a little more in depth the building process I did and all of that. And spoiler alert, I will Citation Cockpit 1.0 will soon become version 2.0. Not soon, but is going to become version 2.0. I think we're going to be moving this into a dedicated room in the basement. Right now I kind of use it as a little workshop. It's got a workbench and stuff in there. We just recently kind of somewhat finished the room. And that workbench area down there and the room is what I want to use to film some of the videos I'm going to do with like the how-to cockpit stuff, you know, showing some of the different parts and things like that. And I thought, you know, I need to show the cockpit when I'm doing some of those videos, and I don't want to be shooting videos down there and then running back up to the room that this is in, which is on the upstairs level of the house, filming up here, going back and forth, yada, yada, yada. And I told my wife, I said, would it make sense if all of that were in the same room? And she was, I think, pretty stoked about it, because it also means she's going to get her guest room back. So, but in the process of doing that, I'm going to have to take some of it apart. I made it pretty modular when I built it, because I knew eventually someday, just knowing myself, I'm like, I'm going to take this apart for some reason and probably move it or do something with it. So I didn't want to have to basically take this apart and have it in a million pieces to try and move it. Like this main center part, the left half, the right half, I can just undo some screws and all of that will basically turn into 3 pieces. Now obviously I'm going to have to take off parts here, you know, in the center part to be able to get it downstairs, but like I can take this left half off and mainly move it all still intact, same with the right half and all that. But in the process of doing that, now that I've had this for close to 6 months, there are a lot of things I do want to change on it. Some are big, some are small. So I think that would be a good opportunity to showcase version 2.0 being built. This time I'll document it, since I'll be in that room down there and have a lot of cameras and stuff set up to where I can easily film what I'm doing. I'll document it a lot more, and so a lot of that will be coming to the channel. Not real soon, you know, maybe several months away still until that stuff starts, but I will start soon some of the videos of, you know, how I programmed the stream decks or how I made these windows. A lot of people have asked how I made these beveled out windows, and so a lot of that stuff I'll do videos on how to make this GTC. So look forward to some of that stuff coming soon. I'm gonna stop blabbing for a second and see what everybody is saying. Let's see. Max Aviation, how's it going? How's the home cockpit lately? Doing good. It's doing as well as it can do. it's going good.
Canada 55 Victor Cleveland. Look here, flight 8122. I think that was you also coming through.
You'd be taking a shot every time it crashes. Well, I mean, based on the way that it's been acting here in the last couple of flights, I'd be passed out drunk if I started doing that, so I don't know. But yeah, I really hope, like I said, they come up with a way to optimize it a little bit more. I will say, I don't know if this is going to happen, but one of the things I am considering, because I know that this monitor itself eats up a lot of resources, especially when I run it in 5120 by 1440 mode. The two side ones, they're full HD or whatever, they're 2560 by 1080. I have considered getting 2 more of those, just like the 2 here, and doing those as my front window, and obviously they would be split in the middle, but that would add that middle partition like it is in the actual real Longitude. I've always liked this because it's just so wide open and there's no posts there. You know, I didn't build any center column there or anything. But I really am considering, partially because of the curve of this, it does start to get a little distorted down here in the corners and makes it hard to match up and make the transition from this screen to that screen as easy as possible. I showed you that 747 earlier when we were waiting to take off and how well it seemed to come across there. That's taken me forever to get those lined up to where I feel comfortable with that, or I feel happy with it. But if these, all 4 monitors, if I did do that setup and they were all exactly the same monitor, there's some stuff I could do in NVIDIA to really make it a seamless transition between all of them, and possibly, I don't think it would help performance any in terms of, you know, like rendering and stuff. Maybe it would, I don't know. But, well, technically it would be 2560 by 1080 twice rather than 5120 by 1440, so I guess really the only difference there would be the 1080, so I don't know. Might save a little bit of performance, but anyway, what I would like is the fact that they're going to be flat, that they would transition to each other very smoothly. And so, and plus I could follow more of those kind of the actual scientific like setups that show you how to figure your fields of view and stuff. I would be able to do that a lot better. And the fact that it would kind of give one monitor for the co-pilot seat and one monitor for the pilot seat to where you're looking at the center of the monitor, because right now it does throw off your kind of your depth perception a little bit. If I were to look straight ahead at this part of the monitor, because it's curved and it's off to the left side, basically when I have a center line lined up down here, my eyes are shifted toward the center of the monitor, and it just looks kind of weird. And the fact that this monitor curves toward me, it throws off depth perception. And if I had a chance to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't use this monitor. I would probably go with something flat, but for right now, for version 1.0, it's working fine, and I'm happy with it. But that's the thought with doing the possibly some different monitors for the front screen.
So he might be in or out, but we're here with you.
We're in a Ray Delta Charlie, runway 28 left, clear to land, 6-word wind, 280.
Alright, clear to land.
Orviation, what is going on? Hi and bye. See you later.
Transponded out of their block identity.
See, Buck, you guys are talking about Flight Plan Go. I've never seen that one before. I'll have to look at it. Sounds like it works pretty well. Keep your iPad in your lap and you're good to go. Alright. Windrift, when are you flying to New York, maybe LaGuardia, or even Long Island, where a bunch of corporate jets fly to? Yeah, we'll do that sometime. Absolutely. I've flown there plenty of times. I've flown there a few times on VATSIM, Teterboro and stuff. I just saw that there was a Teterboro event last night, I believe. But yeah, we've flown in there before. We'll do one coming up here pretty soon.
ATC services are terminated. Frequency change.
Unicom 12-Decimal, Korean Air 0994 Heavy, thank you to your ATC service. Bye-bye, Citation.
Back out real quick here on my
offline. ATC services are terminated. Frequency change.
cat thing here real quick. Sorry, just had to refresh it there. Alright, let's get the GTC off there, you guys. It's not doing much right now, we're not using it, so... let me take a look. What are we doing here? Arrival-wise, we are on the Linda's arrival. That is not what is loaded up in Navigraph. Parkour 3 or... Oh, no, sorry. That's a Linda's transition. Yeah, Parkour 3? Parkour. I hope that's what that stands for. That's hilarious. Parkour. Alright,
we'll descend bone.
It's got all kinds of speed limits and altitude limits. And that is all in.
1446, heavy turn left, heading 3.
Looks like Willem is going to be our first one. And there's our top of descent showing up. Just as I made the GTC go away, I started doing stuff on there, so I'll put it back so you guys can see. Yeah, so Willem's going to have our first altitude restrictions. I'm going to go ahead and turn on VNAV just so it'll be ready once we get close enough.
Pacific 6132, flight level 370.
And that is eventually going to take us down. What is our minimum altitude going to be on that arrival? It's like 12,000. So I'm going to go ahead in the altitude selector and put in 12,000. So that when our VNAV starts, I will not forget and it won't start descending. It'll start doing it automatically and we'll be good.
American 326, and a pilot discussion. Main 10 down, Pittsburgh altimeter 3002.
I'm going to go ahead and turn down the music now because that center controller is talking very softly. I just want to make sure I can hear him if he calls out to us. We'll turn some music on a little bit later, but just for now, I don't want to miss anything. Because he probably will begin to give us the clearance to descend via that arrival. Actually, if I'm doing this correctly, I should not have changed that altitude until we get that clearance. So I'm going to do it the right way, put it back at 420, the forbidden altitude, and just keep it there until he clears us.
Cleveland Center, United 838 is with you at flight level 230.
It'll still be a little while, but just want to make sure.
United 838 Cleveland
All
Center,
right.
radar contact 50 west of Buffalo, climb.
AFD, I'm going to zoom out on just a bit so I can see what we got
Climbing,
coming.
maintain flight level 350, United 838.
Yeah, there's our top of descent.
5132, radar contact 75 west of the Carlton VOR, maintain flight level 3.
So he should give us that clearance before we hit Linda's, because that's where
6132.
that arrival's going to start. Well, that's a transition
Ray Delta
point.
Charlie, where are you parking?
So he should give us some clearance prior to that.
Right go to the gates or the GA?
We're 738 BBJ, so we can take a gate.
8 Delta Charlie, taxi to the airline terminal via Foxtrot westbound. Right turn Tango. Cross.
Polar Bear, what is going on?
And then parking's off your left side.
You like those overlay? Yeah. I like it too. I mean, you can obviously see them in the stream, but you can't make out anything that's on them. So I thought, you know what? They're already, they're considered monitors according to the computer and according to OBS, so it's real simple to just pull those up as sources and be able to show them to you guys and make them go away if I want them to real easy. So, yeah, to me it's worth it, and I think it adds a little bit more so you guys can actually see things, especially on the GTC, because since this plane is pretty much run off of that GTC, it's nice to be able to see what's going on there. So
Good afternoon. Center, November 785, Oscar Bravo.
yeah, Buck,
November 785, Oscar
they've
Bravo.
made about as much stuff on their work as they possibly can. You know, that makes sense with the sim. Obviously, music and stuff like that would be cool, but probably not necessary in the sim. I don't even know how they would. I'm sure somebody could make some sort of a plug-in for it. I mean, if it worked, I would do it because it would give me a way to control the music in the stream. So, but I do know that they've got some other stuff in the works too. I just saw something this morning. I think it's not going to be working title that does it, but it'll be a Navigraph feature.
Center's offline, ATC terminated, frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom, 6 Bravo Papa. Thanks for the coverage. All right. Well, we're at Unicom. I need to pull up the...
8 Delta Charlie, continue straight ahead, cross, runway 28 center.
I'm over here assuming we're going to have coverage in. Let me just see if Charlotte's even still online. That would not be fun. And it is hot in here. All right. Let's see what we got for Charlotte. Oh, no, yeah, they're still on. All right, so we got a little break in airspace here. So we just left his airspace, so we'll be on Unicom here for a little bit, but we will be coming up on Atlanta Center, who just came on 46 minutes ago. So we should get them. Charlotte does have departure. That has been on for 30 minutes, so we should get that, or Charlotte approach, I mean. That'll be nice. And then they are also tower, ground, everything. So we should have full coverage as we come into Charlotte. That's going to be awesome. We'll pull up the ATIS. Actually, I can look at it right here. Let's see. Arriving. Just want to see what we can expect. Expect visual approach 18 right, center, and left. Okay. So it looks like 18 is what we should be expecting. 36 right is what was put in the flight plan. So I'm going to go ahead and change that runway. Let's look at the airport map for Charlotte and see where GA parking is. Okay, so 18 left will be our prime runway. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that. We'll hope that we can get that. It's a Linda's transition. All right. It shouldn't update the arrival at all. Well, maybe a little bit. But 18 left. Probably an ILS approach for that. They'll probably vector us into the localizer is my assumption. Yeah, so there is a 18 left ILS. We can load that approach and have it ready. And then, you know, change everything at the last minute when it's wrong. We can assume vectors. So, yeah, we can load that in. Pull up the chart, see what the minimums are for that. Alright, so 1-8 left. Pull up the chart. 110.35 is the nav frequency for the localizer, so that should go in automatically when we enter the approach into the FMS. And then we've got minimums. Actually, I think the minimum should load as well if we go ahead and load it. Well, no, it's not. Minimums looks like is 1,002. Alright, let's go ahead and load that in. It'll give us vectors. Obviously not cleared for any of that, but just that way in case we're expecting it. And then, like I said, once we get close to their airspace, I think we would need to start descending prior to when we get into Atlanta Center. So I'm going to go ahead and let it descend via that arrival because we were cleared. That's in our flight plan, and the flight plane was cleared. I don't know if that's exactly the right way to do that. I guess as we come into his airspace, we can tell him that we're descending via the arrival, and then if he doesn't like it, he'll tell us to do otherwise. So, yeah, because I think we're going to be at top of descent before we get there, so that's alright. Alright, so we have that in. We've got the approach in if we decide to do that, or if he just vectors us in for a visual approach, but, alright, cool. Wanted to get that all squared away. Oh, and I was supposed to drink water. Which longitude mod are you talking about, Buck? Are you talking about the, I forget who makes it, but it's a, it's like the flight improvement mod. If you are, I would recommend not using that. Everything that Working Title has done with it, from what I've read and what I've heard, is about as true to life as it gets. Now, if it makes the plane easier to fly for you, that's one thing. I mean, do whatever you got to do to make it as fun as possible. But I had always heard that that flight improvement mod that was out like on Flight Sim TO, I can't remember who the developer is that made it, but I had always heard that the reason it existed was because a lot of people said that the like the flight dynamics, just the way that the jet flew, they didn't feel was realistic. And so that's mainly what that would do. But ever since Working Title overhauled it, I think that from what I have heard, they say that the way that it, you know, a lot of people always say, well, it floats a lot when you're coming down to land, you know. In real life, based on, you know, the pilots that they're working with that actually fly the plane in real life. I mean, that's true to life. That's how it is. So I don't have any mods on mine. Like I said, personal preference thing. So if that's the mod you're talking about, you may be talking about something completely different. But you should 3D print the Longitude speed brake knob and replace the Airbus one with it. Yeah, so if you heard earlier, Polar Bear, the Citation Cockpit 2.0, that's going to involve a lot of things. One of them being I'm going to try and design and build my own motorized throttle for it that looks a lot more like the one for the Citation, but then also being motorized means that it would sit here and move back and forth with the auto throttle and everything. So along with that would be, yeah, a speed brake knob or speed brake handle. Make that GTC go away so you can see what I'm pointing at here. It would be a speed brake handle, much more like the one in the actual jet. And then the flaps, I don't know. I would figure out something for that. part of that 2.0 cockpit would also be making it a little bit wider, especially if I go with 2 monitors on the front. They would be a little bit wider than this thing is altogether. Part of the reason I kept this as narrow as I did was because this monitor is only that wide, and I didn't want to have a front monitor that was a lot shorter and have the cockpit, you know, extend past it. So, but if I decide to go with that 2 monitor front, that will extend this probably about 4 inches on each side, and that'll let me make this center pedestal wider. And then I can put in maybe a throttle that then has the flaps over here on the right side. You know, again, it won't be exactly like the real Longitude because, again, I didn't make it to be a scale perfect replication of it. Case in point, the Stream Decks. I did this because it works for me and it allows me to change the aircraft if I want to. If I built a Longitude cockpit that had every button and switch right where the Longitude is, I can never fly anything else other than it. Now, I'd be a happy guy if I never flew anything else other than it because I love flying this jet. But it allows me to change some of that if I need to. But at the same time, it's so easy to update a lot of this and change it. The Stream Deck obviously allows me to control the stream and the aircraft, which is invaluable, you know, for my use case. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of, yeah, like a speed brake handle, like you're saying, Polar Bear, I'd love to make one that looks a little more realistic. The parking brake handle would be awesome. Right now, parking brake, you know, stuff like that, that's all handled up here with a button on the Stream Deck. The biggest one is the landing gear. I did have a design for a landing gear knob to try and squeeze in right down here. I just felt like that was going to be way too, you know, crunched in. It would look like I just shoehorned it in there. The dash just wasn't big enough to fit all of that. These screens I want to raise up just a little bit. I want to get the yoke a little bit higher. Also, this was perfectly 90 degrees, like perpendicular. I want to tip it just a little bit and get it, you know, so that these screens actually are looking up at me a little bit, so the viewpoint is a little bit better on them. Several things I want to change. Again, this is all stuff you learn from doing the first round, but and again, it's not stuff that's going to happen in the next month or two. You know, it's going to be a little ways down the road, but kind of my little roadmap for all these changes I want to make and everything. So let's see. We are now heading direct to Linz, and our top of descent's going to be coming back since we're not going to be cleared to that arrival. Since we're on Unicom, I am going to go ahead and now bring this down. So that it will start to descend once we hit that top of descent. And then, of course, once we enter the airspace, you know, we'll let them know we're descending via that arrival. And then if they have a problem with it, they can let us know. So looks like our bottom is going to be 1,300 feet. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take it all the way down to that, just for now. And then we can change that later if need be. So. Alright, I'm up to that arrival just so I can kind of follow it as we come in. Yeah, so maybe even flaps too, yeah. So I have an idea for what this needs to look like. So as that happens and all that, you know, just stay tuned to the channel and you'll see what I decide to do. So. I did have the spring-loaded flaps lever on the old Honeycomb Bravo throttle that I had, Buck, when I used that at the desk. I 3D printed a little thing to where it had a little spring-loaded thing that you had to lift up and obviously move it to each notch of flaps, so that was fun. Definitely more realistic, 100%. No, that's not my wife. That's the Streamlab bot doing that. I put those in there, and they're supposed to stagger, like one every 30 minutes, but they're all three coming across at 30 minutes, so I need to change that, but... No, she would say that if she was in here, though. Good landing gear levers on Etsy for $50. I bet there is. Yeah, I'm a DIY guy. I like to do it myself. Now, granted, I'd probably go on there and check out, you know, the design and get some ideas and inspiration from it, because pretty much anything in here... I won't say anything. Like this tablet holder, the way it's wireless and charges and all that kind of stuff, this is fully 100% designed by me, and there's the little metal things on the back that allow it to keep itself in there magnetically, and there you can see it charges as it goes in. That was 100% my design just from scratch. So a lot of these bezels and everything, they're nothing special, but they're all designed from scratch. The one over the GTC is. These windows, 100% designed from scratch. Actually, I love to get inspiration from everybody else's home cockpits, 100%. Like, you know, just getting everybody's, you know, you may come across something that somebody's figured out and you're like, oh my God, that's an amazing idea. But normally, you know, if I get inspiration from it, then I just go to Fusion 360 and just start on a blank canvas and start messing around with it. And so that's where a lot of this stuff came from. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just stuff where, yeah, these screens, I knew I was going to put them up here, but they needed a bezel. And so that's just a real simple design, obviously. But the real one's going to be if I do when I do the motorized throttle, designing that from scratch. That's going to be quite a chore. There's plenty of stuff out there from people that have done similar ones, mainly like 737 ones, so I'll definitely use those to, you know, learn this, but I'm going to have to design one more for like a business jet style, you know, Citation style. So it's going to be a fun one for sure, but I'll try and document it as I go, so there's at least some videos to go along with it. Thank you, Buck. I drank my water. It is good for me. Yes, Tim, it is water. I promise. You do... Yeah, vertical speed's cool. I do vertical speed when I descend. Well, I mean, like, when I let the VNAV do it, obviously, it descends at the profile that's in there, which I think is somewhere around 2,000 feet. I don't know if it's feet per minute or if it does by degrees. I don't know. I'm not for sure. But, yeah, I'll use vertical speed, especially like if I'm being vectored around or if I'm just flying without ATC and I'm just kind of manually bringing myself into different approaches and stuff. I do vertical speed 100% when I'm descending. Flight level change I use, though, when I climb because and Tim can probably, Corporate Pilot Dad could probably give you a much more scientific reason or way of how this works. But vertical speed, once you set that at 2,000 feet per minute, for example, and you start climbing, it's doing nothing with your throttle. It's going to climb at 2,000 feet. And if you start hitting different, I think it's like, you know, different air densities and stuff, where the higher you get, I think the harder it is, you know, to climb. It doesn't care what your speed is showing. It's going to do anything it can to try and get that 2,000 feet per minute. So you could theoretically stall yourself out trying to climb. Flight level change is going to climb you at the best rate possible, or at the fastest rate possible, while still maintaining whatever speed you have. Like in the FMS, there's a climb profile based on altitudes. It's like 250 knots, 270 knots, something like that. It will pitch the nose up and down so that you climb while holding that speed. So as you get higher altitudes, it's not going to let you start to stall out. It may shallow your angle of climb as you're going up. Tim's probably laughing his ass off right now based on the way I explained that, but I think I kind of was close to the way it works there. Let's see, what do you say? Okay, yeah, VNAV does degrees. Okay, yeah, I think it's like 3. Well, let me see. Let me pull up the GTC here, because it's in the profile in here. Actually, I think I was right there. It's in the VNAV tab right there. Yeah, so minus 3 degrees. And then climbing, yeah, so it's going to do 270 knots, 250 knots below 10,000, and 200 knots below 2,500. Cruising, it's going to cruise you at Mach 0.84. And yeah, there's your minus 3 degrees descending rate. So there you go. Definitely hit you up on those yokes when it's time. I need to understand how you did that. I see the cuff. Oh, to extend them, you mean? Yeah, I mean, if you need to. So definitely see how you're going to do it for yours. I had to do it on mine just the way that I have the yoke mounted behind all of the panel and everything. Just the length of the normal honeycomb yoke was not going to make it, so I actually had to extend it. I'll probably make a video on that for you because it's a process. I mean, you've got to take it apart. I'll put it in the video 100%, but I'll let you know right now, you're going to be voiding your warranty when you do that. So make sure it's something you have to do before you actually do it. So, all right, so we are getting a message from Atlanta Center. And they're actually going to catch us right before the top of descent, so he should clear us here. Atlanta Center, citation November 316. Let me go ahead and go to that frequency first. Atlanta Center, citation November 316. Bravo Papa is with you at flight level 420.
Calling Atlanta. Check your frequency. Maybe your transmit power as well.
Well, we were on the wrong one. And actually, we're not cleared to descend, but I'm going to get yelled at for that, so. Atlanta Center.
Just a quick question is Delta 1449. You want us on the south side on the ramp? You call us on the south side, correct?
There we go. Atlanta Center, citation November 316. Bravo Papa with you at flight level 410, descending via the Parkour 3 arrival. Let's see if he told us we were allowed to descend.
No, Rick. Bravo Papa, Atlanta Center, ident.
Ah, where's our ident? There it is. There's the ident.
Delta 1227, resume normal speed.
Normal speed, Delta 1227.
United 208, contact Atlanta approach 133.47.
I did an ident for him.
3347, United 208. 306, Bravo Papa, radar contact 20 east of the Glade Springs, VOR 50389, descend via Parker 3 arrival, landing south, the Charlotte altimeter 3000.
Roger, descend via the Parkour 3 arrival, 6 Bravo Papa.
Delta 455, radar contact 10 east of Roanoke, VOR 340.
Alright. I have a feeling this may get busy, so I may not talk a whole lot during this one because I don't want to screw stuff up badly. I said landing south.
South of 241, Atlanta Center, hello, climb maintained, flight level 330.
I think we can still plan on 18 left.
Up to 330, that's fine for the final for Southwest 241, thanks.
So Willem, we're going to be at 270 knots. Just want to make sure that we have that in. Yep, 270 knots and flight load in between 3324. Yep, we're good. Okay. Let me get ahead with frequencies here because I do not want to fall behind. So we're also going to have Charlotte approach, which is 1205.
2698.
So let's go ahead and get that in.
And maintain 12,000 at 250 knots. The altimeter 3004.
All right, so we've got that in, and then we will have
I'll be at 12,000
power.
2698.
It's going to be 118.1, so we'll put that in 2.
Atlanta Center, United 2081 is with you, 10,000 for 14,000.
2081, Atlanta Center, hello, climb maintained, flight level 330.
Climb maintained, flight level 330, United 2081.
Atlanta Center, Southwest 5555, holding.
And we also have Charlotte ground.
South 55,
It's going to be 121.9.
Proceed on course, clear for takeoff.
Runway 24, proceed on course, clear for takeoff. Southwest 5555.
Alright. So we're set up all the way across the board there.
United 2698, can we get that out again?
Frequencies are good. We're descending correctly. 300, and I just dropped my pencil.
Atlanta Blue Streak 5276, level 300, sorry about that.
Blue Streak 5276, last in Norways, ident.
Try not
Blue
to
Streak 5276.
hit anything as I try to get my pencil,
Over 9981, happy.
because I will need that.
Delta 99, I'm actually going to be standing with me.
Alright, we'll stay with you. Delta 9981.
United 2698, could we get that Atlanta altimeter again, please?
On altimeter 3004.
Roger, thanks.
Alright, let me look here right quick. Tim's giving a lesson in the chat right now, it looks like, so I'm just going to scan through here. I explained it correctly, good. I know I did. Oh, God. Let's see. That's a lot of math. Oh, okay, you can figure that via the glide scope. Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Oh, man. Yes, I do need the pencil. Very bad. No, I haven't because I need to do the approach checklist.
Exterior lights, check.
Yep, they're good.
Pressurization landing elevation, verify.
American 443.
Got it.
Cross
745.
Aussie,
Alright, V-speeds are not set because we need to do
3004.
those calculations.
Cross Aussie at 12,000 at 250 knots. Altimeter 3004. American 443.
Shake 5276, radar contact over Pulaski, VR, level 30.
Flaps full. That's all good. Alright. We're going to be 121, 110 ref. Okay, cool.
Landing distance, verify.
Roger. Deviations
Ice
right of course
protection,
up to
check.
40 degrees, approved, and enable proceed direct a quarry
Yep,
and
got
advise.
8,600 feet available, 2,800 required. Ice protection not needed. FMS is
Minimums
good.
set.
Minimums are set.
Altimeters, verify.
I gotta be at 30 here once we pass
Seatbelts
18.
button on.
It's still
Crew
on.
briefing.
Yeah, we're coming in via that arrival.
EIS CAS, check.
And the CAS looks good. Alright. So that approach checklist is done. We won't need to do anything else till after we land. Alright. Get my seat locked in here. Alrighty.
South 5555 radar contacts, altitude.
457, 765.
5585, roger. Clear direct Gump, climb and maintain, level 350.
Alright, if we're going to land 18 from Parkour on track 1572 in Coma, then 157 to Boaton, on track to Camper, expect radar vectors to final.
Alpha Romeo at Peachtree, ready for IVAC.
Alright, and then we'll have the ILS 18 in. But I do want to just take a peek again. 110.35 is that nav frequency, and that is in because we loaded the ILS just in case. Alright, that looks good. Yes, glide scope, that's what I said. Alright, we'll hit the lights once we get down there below 10,000.
American 612, connect short approach, 120.5, we'll see you.
And before it gets too crazy, yeah, I think I covered everything. So yeah, some changes coming to the channel. Hopefully a couple streams a week, some home cockpit videos coming soon. Some announcements with, gonna have some merch coming out pretty soon. I know nobody's asked for it, but I felt like I had some good ideas for some merch, and I hope everybody's gonna like it. That will be coming very soon, along with some channel membership options if you want to help out the channel. I love doing this. I'd love to do it a whole lot more. So I think I'm going to release a channel membership option, and, you know, a lot more information on that to come here pretty soon as well. So just wanted to get that out here before we continue to come in here.
Down 240, post position, blue streak 5276.
Alright, so yeah, we'll probably get camper would be the last.
Center Blue Streak
Yeah.
5275,
Okay.
15.
Then we'll probably get vectored at that point, so we'll see.
Shake 5275, Atlanta Center.
Alright, we'll be coming up on 1800. I'm going to back these throttles off just a little bit without popping them out of auto throttle.
Blue Streak 5275.
I just don't like taking the auto throttle off when I'm coming into land and I'm jammed full throttle.
Atlanta Center, Sierra 4040 Tango.
404 Sierra Tango, Atlanta.
Slope, I don't know what you're talking about. There's some mountains out the window over here. Is that like right over here? It's like slopes, like if you go skiing, the slopes on those mountains. I think that's what you're talking about. I know you're not talking about the glide scope.
404 Sierra Tango, Atlanta, radar contact, squawk 2213, and clear to the Foxtrot Yankee Mike Airport, asphalt, maintain 6000.
221 spin box, clear to Foxtrot Yankee Mike at 6000 for Sierra Tango.
Yikes, I need some of that crap off the screen.
Atlanta Center, last flight 1 is at Birmingham, West FBO. We're looking for VFR departure to the east.
Flight 1, Roger.
Yep, I knew that, Tim. I knew that
ramp
you
is
could
there,
just
runway
leave auto
3
throttle
feet
on the whole way in, and then it just kills it to 50 feet. So I may try that this time. I don't do it. I usually take it off when I'm, you know, a mile out or so. But yeah, I'll just do it this time and see. I know you're messing with me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Delta 9981, descend via Jedi 3 arrival, the Atlanta altimeter 3004.
What's your call sign? It is November 316 Bravo Papa. Every time. Anytime you're watching a stream on here, or one of my flights, it will always be 316 Bravo Papa. Alright, we're going to go to 3000 on the altimeter.
Affirmative. We should be. Let me check.
You're about 90 degrees off course, sir.
Nothing like being told you're 90 degrees off course. That'll be me here in just a couple minutes.
6555.
That will be me here in just a moment.
Who's this calling?
November 316 Kilo, level 1, 4000, heading 270.
316 Kilo, Atlanta, hello, climb 18, flight level 360, clear dark Gadsden.
Here's the PFD map settings. I'm not going to start messing with that right now because I don't want to start screwing it up when we're about to start getting...
Number 3760, are you on frequency?
Technically supposed to add 3 knots to ref when landing with ATS and increasing landing distance by 7%.
November 3760.
My head just exploded. Just wing it. Yep. That's my motto. Just wing it. In spacey over here.
Bravo Papa, contact shot 120.5.
20.5, 6 Bravo Papa, thanks. Charlotte approach citation November 316 Bravo Papa with you at 13,400 descending via the Parkour 3 arrival.
Citation 316 Bravo Papa, Charlotte approach, welcome. Altimeter 3000. Expect vectors for the visual approach for runway 18 left.
We'll expect vectors for visual 18 left, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright. Yep, so we will get ready to go heading mode once we start to get vectored in here after a little while. Alright, cool. So we're expecting 18. We've got the localizer in there ready to go. And yeah, I think otherwise we're good. Might do a flight out of Charlotte somewhere, but I don't know. Yeah, well, you might want to pick where you're going. That'll help. But, yeah, go for it, man. Wide scope. I'll use that on my... What altitude do you have set in the altitude select? I don't know, 0. 1,300. 1,300 because I think that was my localizer intercept altitude. But I'll change all of that, obviously, when they start giving me vectors. I was just waiting to hit 10,000 here so I could turn on all my lights and not have to come back to this page. Alright, camper is going to be our last one here. We're going to hit 9,000. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and put that back
622 heavy, descend and maintain 4,000.
at 9,000 in my altitude selector, so I don't go any lower than that.
Piedmont 4184, just verify your direct the electric city VOR, that's Echo Lima Whiskey.
Yeah, we're at direct electric city, you can. Piedmont 4184.
And then we should start to get our vectors.
Roger, thanks.
Lights are on, don't have to worry about those now. Alright. And zoom in that PFD map just a bit more. We're at 300 on the altimeter, so we're good. We're ready for our vectors and ready to get this thing on the ground.
Citation 6 Bravo Papa, depart camper heading 130.
Depart camper heading 130, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, so once we get across camper, then we'll go heading 130. So, let's get that set in, 130.
Piedmont, after disregard.
And we're going to cross camper here in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and there is heading. Mode engaged, 130. How did you know he was going to give me 130? He said departing camper, 130. So I assume that means cross camper and then go 130. If not, I just did it wrong. But that's what we went with. Now, I'm not descending anymore because that was the last thing. I should get vectors now. This camper was the last fix on that arrival, I believe.
American 622 heavy, fields currently at your 10, 11 o'clock, 16 miles, have in sight.
But hopefully he'll start to give me a...
American 622 heavy, that came in really low.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay at 9,000. I'm going to stay on that heading. And he will get me set up otherwise. He's going to have us basically intersect that line that you can see on the MFD on your screen right now.
Okay, perfect. American 622, cleared visual approach, runway 187. Citation 6 Bravo Papa, turn right, heading 150, descend and maintain 4,000.
Heading 150, descend and maintain 4,000, 6 Bravo Papa.
Piedmont 4184, contact Atlanta Center on 132.975.
Speed it down at 2,000.
132.975, see ya.
150. Heading. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and flip our speed over now to manual so I can control it. And I'm going to go ahead and drop us to 200 knots. And we'll go ahead and get in the first notch of flaps as that slows down. Go ahead and throw up some speed brakes just to help us slow down a little bit here.
And Citation 6 Bravo Papa, fields at your 2 o'clock, 20 miles, point sight.
We got the field in sight, 6 Bravo Papa.
Citation 6 Bravo Papa, cleared visual approach, runway 18 left. Traffic is an American A330 Neo on short final for runway 18 center, indicating 3,000.
Roger, cleared 18 left visual approach, and we'll look out for the A320, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and continue.
American 622 heavy, contact Charlotte Tower 118.1, have a go.
On around. Get lined up. We're cleared visual.
Yeah.
Now I should be able to go ahead and intercept, hopefully, the localizer for this. I would love to do that. I never know. I think I arm approach mode now? No. But I think I can go into localizer mode in the FMS, and hopefully we should start to grab it. I am going to get on this heading, though. Get lined up here. We do have the correct... According to this, I have traffic coming right at me. That's fun. Alright, we're going to continue to come down at 2,000 feet per minute. Alright. No glide slope. Awesome. And I can't arm approach mode. I pushed approach, Tim, and it's not letting me light up. It's at 2400. Okay. 2400 is in. I'm in approach. Not working. I'm in heading mode. Do I need to change that? Nav source will change automatically as long as you have ghost needles. Don't know what that means.
Departure, good evening, Southwest 361.
But I am in localizer.
4,500 for 8,000.
I'm in lock 1
Southwest
mode.
361, Charlotte departure, rate of contact, turn right, direct 10 fleet, climb maintain 16,000.
Direct Tinsley, climb maintain 16,000.
Switch to lock, so no ghost needles. No, but since I switched to lock, shouldn't it go ahead and grab, though? Well, I know that it's not going to grab until whatever fix it's on the approach. What does that show? So it looks like 2400 at Eagle. I guess I could just put myself direct to Eagle on nav mode. It shouldn't matter. Switch back to FMS. Okay. Back to FMS. Still nothing on approach mode. Doesn't let me do it. I'm going to keep trying to line myself up with the heading bug here. I am going to be at 2400 by the time I get to Eagle. Yeah, for some reason it's not grabbing. I am going to go ahead and slow me down at this point now to 150 knots. Get more flaps in. There's notch number 2. If anything, we're just going to land here, 18 left. Where is... Okay, I'm not seeing the little landing lights for 18 left, but okay.
Citation 6 Bravo Papa, you're looking more lined up for runway 18 center at the moment. You want to switch?
Roger, yeah, having a little problem with the FMS. We'll get lined up on 18 left, 6 Bravo Papa.
6 Bravo
Right.
Papa, no problem. You can contact Charlotte Tower 118.1. Have a good one.
Over to tower, 6 Bravo Papa. Thank you. Charlotte Tower, citation November 316 Bravo Papa is about 5 miles out on final for 18 left. That was so messed up.
316 Bravo Papa, Charlotte Tower, hello, runway 18 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 18 left, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright.
2277 Bravo, you're at a contact, fly
Not going well right now. We're just going to have to bring this in the best we can do.
Heading 240, 2277 Bravo.
Is that... Yeah, 18 left's way over there and doesn't have the runway lights leading up to it, but that's okay. We're good here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go gear down. And there's our final notch flaps. A little bit below the glide slope. There's approach mode. There's the localizer. If I throw on autopilot, it should line us up a little bit better now. Yeah, Tim, I think I just screwed up royally on a bunch of different stuff. So, all right, autopilot was getting
Bravo,
assigned.
fly heading 270 now. Heading 270, 2277 Bravo. And 2277 Bravo, you're leaving the Bravo with no flash following, is that correct? That is correct, 2277 Bravo. 2277 Bravo, roger.
All lights are up. Full flaps are in. Gear is down. We're way too high, but we're okay. 500 feet. Master caution, speed brakes are down for some reason. Okay, those are now up. Jeez. Alright, still too high. Oh my god. A little bit of a bounce, times 2. And we're down with a beautiful landing. Jesus Christ. Probably going to exit left here. High speed.
November 2277 Bravo, leaving the Charlotte class Bravo to the west. Maintain VFR at or below 1,700. Radar services terminated. Frequency change to advisory is approved. Squawk VFR.
Alright, we are clear of the runway. That was ridiculous. Okay, let's see if he contacts us here. Maybe. Charlotte Tower, citation 36 Bravo Papa is clear, 18 left.
16 Bravo Papa, ground point on it.
Over to ground, 6 Bravo Papa, thanks. Charlotte ground, citation November 316 Bravo Papa is clear, 18 left, looking to taxi to the GA parking.
Number 316 Bravo Papa, straight ahead to General Aviation. Have a great night.
Straight ahead to GA, 6 Bravo Papa, thanks. Yeah, we couldn't have pulled off any better. We're literally just right here. Alright, nobody coming left. Nobody to the right. Well, hey, I was happy with the graphics on that. It did not start stuttering on final or anything, so that was fantastic. There's the fuel box. Alright, let's pull up here and we'll just whip around facing the
Charlotte ground, Blue Street 5262, requesting clearance to Columbus.
runway.
Blue Street 5262, Charlotte ground, clear to the Columbus Airport via the Weasel 4 departure, cloud transition, and that's filed. Maintain 8,000. Expect level 30010 minutes after departure.
Aim it right at the
Departure
tower.
is on 120.5, squawk 2244.
Alright.
Clear to Columbus, see the Weasel departure, cloud transition.
Shutdown checklist.
Expect 30010.
Throttles idle.
120.5.
Or idle.
Parking brake set.
It
Ice
is.
protection off.
It
Engines
is.
stop.
Back is correct. Push the rapid
Right.
pass discretion. Advisory for taxi. You can expect runway 18.
Turn just a little bit more here. I'm not trying to take off. Just trying to crank it around here a little bit more. That fuel box in sight. That's interesting to look at. Alright. There we go. I'm happy with that. Alright. Shut down the engines here.
Emergency lights off.
Yep. Never had them on. Seatbelt can come off. All those lights can come off.
Standby power switch off.
Alrighty.
APU off.
It's off.
Exterior lights off.
Recog is off.
Battery buttons off.
And the batteries
1800, taxi via Echo.
are down. Just like that. We are shut down. Alright, well, again, not a very pretty landing, but I'm not a pro pilot, so by my standards, it was just fine. Kevin Spacey can give it a nod. Alright. Oh, Tim, you were talking to me the whole time. What were you saying? Push approach. Nav source will change. Okay, I read that. Now press approach. Shoot. Send it direct to quid. Input FAQ. Yeah. I thought about doing the direct to quid thing and then just letting it intercept the localizer, but at that point, it was already screwed. Switch to nav, back to LSC. I have no idea why it won't arm approach. So the only time it did let me do that was when I took off autopilot and, well, no, I was still on autopilot. I don't know when it let me up. At one point there, yeah, you saw it. It did let me go ahead and arm approach. I have had that problem before, and nobody in the message boards and like the working title, Discord and stuff, I guess is able to replicate it, or the sequence that I've got from a guy on there that does fly this in real life. He gave me like the sequence that you're supposed to do when you're coming in on approach, whether you're being vectored or whether you're perfectly following like an ILS approach, you know, and you're just going fix to fix to fix. He said, kind of like Tim just said, you should never have to switch to LOC mode. You should always be able to stay in FMS. It'll automatically switch when it picks up the localizer and all that. I've had that work perfectly, and I've had it not work. And so I'm kind of at a loss of when it does work. I don't think it's bugged. It's 100% me, but I have had it work and not work, and vice versa. Right there, like in that situation where I was trying to arm approach mode and it wouldn't let me, I've had that happen a million times. So I'm not doing something right procedurally with some of that stuff. So when I get cleared a visual approach like that was one of the questions I asked, like when you get cleared a visual approach, do people still, like if you have the ILS set up, do you still follow the ILS, you know, and just let it follow those fixes and intercept the localizer and do everything automatically for you? Or do guys typically just turn off autopilot and literally just fly the visual approach in doing it themselves? I've wondered that, and so, let's see. 110.30. Yep, I had the ILS frequency entered. That was all good to go. Pilot Dave's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I was doing something wrong the whole time. It always is. It's never that. So, turn some music on here so it's not just boring old me talking. But yeah, there's definitely something up with it for sure. But, we'll figure it out. We're still learning. We're not pros here. I have to activate approach in the GTC for the appropriate button to capture. Oh, okay. That could be. I had the approach loaded, but it obviously wasn't activated. I was just flying heading vectors. You want to screen share with me real fast? I can show you something when you're finished. I gotta head out after this. We're going for dinner, so I probably won't do it tonight, Tim, but yeah, I'll go back and watch it and see. I'm sure I missed a step and, you know, something didn't do what it was supposed to. That's the biggest flaw of mine and the biggest issue I have with the simulator is approaches like that and flying approaches in the longitude. I know there's a right way to do it. If I'm flying no VATSIM, and I'm literally just following a flight plan as it's entered, and I have an approach entered, and everything just follows fix by fix by fix, and I stay in FMS mode, it will automatically, on that last point of the, or whatever fix it is on the approach that you're supposed to intercept the localizer, it will do it. It'll flip from FMS to LOC automatically. It does everything perfectly if all of that's perfect. Where I have issues is in VATSIM, where when you come to the end of the arrival, if they're going to then vector you into a final or they give you a visual final, and I still want to try and capture a localizer and stuff, I get out of sequence somewhere and stuff just doesn't. It does basically exactly what it just did. Now, I wasn't lined up perfectly probably on the fix to the localizer because, as he said, I was lining up more toward 1-8 center, but that's because I was down here messing around trying to figure stuff out, and I wasn't lining myself up on 1-8 left, but that could have been part of it as well. Now, obviously, I did capture it right there at the very end, but that's because I hit approach mode, and it all of a sudden, you know, grabbed it. And so, but I'm doing something out of order. I'll keep researching it and probably figure it out eventually, but yeah. All right, yeah, corporate pilot death. So we normally stay on the ILS even when cleared visual. That's what I heard from another in real life pilot. I said, you know, when you guys get cleared a visual, he said towers like to do visuals and stuff so that at that point, you know, you're off of, they're not having to give you any more vectors or anything like that. So a lot of times you'll get a visual, but I said, you know, I learned flying just on the game ATC, and hang on one second. I learned flying on the game ATC, and obviously, you know, you can set up the approaches and everything in there, and then you just follow them. And I mean, if you listen to the game ATC, they'll vector you in, or they'll basically just give you altitudes, and then you'll just follow the flight plan in all the way to where you intercept the localizer, and literally you have to touch nothing. But then when I started doing VATSIM and you start getting visual approaches and stuff, that's where I start to get screwed up. Is even if I want to still go ahead and land an ILS or approach, or if I want to use an ILS approach to land after I've been cleared visual, I always get screwed up trying to capture the localizer. And so I just need to work on it. But yeah, Tim, I may hit you up and we may screen share or something and see, you know, if you could walk me through like a situation like this where maybe we come in on the arrival and then all of a sudden we start getting some vectors, you know, for whatever reason to make room for other traffic, and then finally they say, okay, now you're cleared visual. As far as I understand, the last vector they give you when they clear you on a visual approach should at least have you intercepting a localizer, I think, right? So they're at least setting you up to where you can still grab that kind of stuff. It's not like when they clear you visual, you've got to find and navigate your way back to get, you know, if you have an ILS approach loaded in. I know I could have done what you said there, where I could have just grabbed the last fix on where you should intercept the localizer, and I could have punched it in, left it in nav mode, and just went direct to that point. And then as long as I was at 2400 or whatever the altitude was for it, I probably should have intercepted it at that point. But at that point, I just said, screw it. Tried to bring it in visually myself, so... Yeah, so Buck, when I put it in the GTC, if you load in the ILS approach, or any approach, it should go ahead and automatically load in the nav frequency for that localizer. You don't have to actually activate it. I think you saw in there when I loaded it in, and I went and checked the nav 1 frequency, that 110.35 I think is what it was for this flight, that was loaded in. So it puts it in there for you automatically, but yeah, I didn't have it activated at that point. But again, maybe that was part of the reason. Yeah, Tim, I'll hit you up and we can figure out a better method of the way I'm doing it there. So, Pilot Dave, thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I need. Yeah, I don't need to screen share with you, Tim. I just need to go watch your guides on how to do it. Yeah, no, I know the sequence, and I think I know what you're supposed to do. It's just like, especially flying on VATSIM, where you can get all these different situations coming in on your arrival and on your approach. I get out of order with something, probably just, you know, because I'm not experienced with it, where, you know, obviously when they're giving you vectors in and stuff, they know that, yeah, this guy's probably got an ILS loaded in, and I put him on this heading and then tell him he's got visual approach. He'll intercept the localizer and all that. But yeah, that approach button is always what seems to get me. You know, I'll try to punch that in and it won't let me activate it. And it's not like a Stream Deck issue. Like if I were to go to the virtual cockpit and try to push it on the AP panel on there, it does the same thing. I used to have that issue back when I just flew at the desk and was using the virtual cockpit. And so it's just a sequencing thing that I'm doing wrong. So yeah, within 30 degrees of final approach course is when you should be able to intercept that. I remember reading that somewhere as well. But if they clear you for a visual, you're on your own. Agreed, yep. That's what the other guy told me, was that a lot of times they do visuals because it takes them out of the equation and they can kind of forget about you at that point. 100% Pilot Dave. Corporate Pilot Dad is my go-to when it comes to any type of flying tutorial stuff, but especially Longitude. He's got a Longitude series. After the refresh was done, definitely go check those out. He talks to you about the now working VNav and how to make sure all that's set up correctly so that it brings you in just like it did here for us. Starts descending you and hits all the points and all the fixes at the right altitudes and the right speeds and everything. So he's got guides for that. And I think, yeah, you've got an approach guide and everything too for ILS approaches and all that. So definitely go check out Corporate Pilot Dad. he's my choice when it comes to this kind of stuff. Something wasn't right with the airplane's avionics. Hey, I would like to think that that was the problem. I hope you're right. Let's blame the plane. It was not me, 100%. Pilot Dave, you're welcome, man. No problem. I just, yeah. I built the cockpit, you know, because I'm never going to be a pilot in real life, and I thought this is as close as I'll get to it, as close as my wife will let me get to it. So, I built this, and then, yeah, everybody seemed to enjoy it and likes to watch, and so that's why we do this YouTube channel. And so if you missed the beginning of the stream, I'll wrap it up here real quick because it's time for me to get off of here. But plenty more to come on the channel. You know, in the past, if you've been following the channel, honestly, here 2 days ago, we just hit our 1 year since we've been on YouTube. I think this last Friday was exactly 1 year since I posted my very first video on YouTube. It's been almost 6 months since we've had the cockpit itself, but this looks like I just have my back to you talking. I can flip to this, I guess. I don't know if it's any more enjoyable looking at my face, but yeah, it's been about 6 months since we've had the cockpit, and so there are some changes, like I said, coming up for it. We're going to be doing a lot of some overhaul to it, but in terms of the channel, you know, here in the last couple of months I started posting some more stuff. You know, we're big Disney World fans. I posted some Disney content, different things like that. I know most people subscribed to this channel are in it for the flight simulator content and the home cockpit content, and so honestly that's where I'm going to start going with it. Taking the channel a lot more seriously now. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I've got some merch coming out for, you know, Citation brand. Pretend Pilot is the brand I'm going with for some of the merch. I consider myself the ultimate pretend pilot. You know, that's, I mean, in essence, anybody playing this game, that's what we all are, unless you, even Tim, even when he plays the game. He's an in-real-life pilot, but when he's on the game, he's a pretend pilot. But, no, I got some of that, you know, some merch coming out for that. I want to try and grow the channel more. To do that, I, you know, definitely need to have some funds coming in to help fund that, and, you know, kind of pay for this, not pay for the cockpit, but, you know, make it worthwhile to continue doing these improvements and stuff I'm doing to it. I know a lot of people subscribe for the home cockpit content and trying to see how to do it. I didn't do a whole lot of how-to when I built this, partly because it would have taken me forever to get it built if I would have tried to document it every step of the way. But as I do, is that playing Joy to the World? Is that a Christmas? What the heck? We'll bounce to the next song. But I did a lot of, I didn't do a lot of how-to stuff with it, and so I definitely want to, as I do some renovations to it and kind of get to the version 2.0 of it, I want to document that a lot more. I still want to document some stuff that I did do for this, a lot of the Stream Deck programming, how to build this GTC, how to make these window panels. I'm going to put a lot of that stuff in there. I may end up redoing these, obviously, when 2.0 comes around, but if I do, then I'll make a different video for that. But I'm going to kind of steer the content back to kind of what people came here for, and that's honestly home cockpit how-to stuff and flights in the home cockpit and just Microsoft stuff in general. I don't know if you guys can see it. You can't see it out that window. Let's go exterior view. There is a dude face planted right over here. Not me. There he is. I don't have my showcase camera controller plugged in, but yeah, there he is. Fun. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, we've got the content and stuff I want to kind of keep back toward flight simulator stuff. So, you know, if you enjoyed the Disney stuff and all that kind of extra stuff I was putting in, sorry, I probably won't have much more of that on the channel. It'll all be flight simulator and home cockpit stuff going forward. But real quick again, the stream schedule, expect one on the weekends just like this, Saturday or Sunday. Maybe as time goes on, I'll get it narrowed down to maybe a specific date that I'll do it, maybe even a specific time. Usually it's going to be afternoon, kind of like today, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, somewhere in there, Central Time. And then I think we're going to go for maybe a weeknight stream that'll be a little bit later. I'm thinking about calling it like Citation After Hours type of a thing. Don't expect like any OnlyFans content. No, after hours meaning just it's going to be later at night. The flights, you know, if I keep the live time, there'll probably be a lot of times in the dark. I don't do a whole lot of flights in the dark, so that might be kind of fun. But expect that maybe like on a maybe Wednesday evenings. I'll try and, sometime during just basically where I can get about 2 streams in each week flying. And then, like I said, some home cockpit videos where I actually just a normal edited video where we, I go through and I explain some of the things on the cockpit here. Expect some of those coming up. And then some of those 360 videos. I know some people enjoy those. I've gotten some good feedback on those. A lot of people have enjoyed that, where you can look around in the cockpit if you're watching that video, either on your phone or on the computer, by swiping around and looking to change your view, basically 360 degrees from the co-pilot viewpoint. And if you have a virtual reality headset and throw that on, you can really get immersed in it. So I'm going to continue to try to make those, maybe not as frequently, maybe try and get maybe 1 or 2 of those out a month. But yeah, that's kind of a forecast on what'll be coming here for the channel, starting up real soon, probably within this next week or 2. So, and then like I said, kind of starting to turn on the revenue thing for the channel here. So channel memberships, I'm going to start those up here when the merch gets ready to go. I've got a design and ready. Several designs are ready to go. I just have the samples ordered because I want to get them and make sure that they're of quality and that they are what I think they are before I open it up for people to buy them, because the last thing I want you to do is buy a t-shirt or something and then get it and it's nothing what I thought it should look like. So once I get those and confirm the samples are good and everything is to my liking, then I'll go ahead and start that along with the channel memberships, because one of the perks of the channel membership will be a discount in the merch store. So kind of want to release those at the same time. So that stuff will be coming up hopefully here within the next week or 2. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. And otherwise, that is about it. So thank you guys for stopping by on Sunday, spending it with me here. I think we had a successful flight down here to Charlotte. We got on the ground. Not a horrible landing. I think we bounced it once, but for not being lined up on the right runway until 5 miles out there, it turned out okay, I think. So real quick here, one more time. All phases of flight for the Longitude. Oh, probably your guides, yeah. Check out Corporate Pilot Dad if you want more instruction on how to fly this. Don't come to my channel to learn how to fly or anything like that. Just come here for entertainment. Corporate Pilot Dad, he's got the guides, he's got the videos that'll show you how to fly these things the right way. So go check out his site. And oh, and that reminds me, partly because I have a funny thing involving the Corporate Pilot Dad. The chat will get a lot more interactive too, starting probably on the next stream. I finally figured out the Streamlabs thing, obviously not very well, as you can see, given the fact that it's spamming out 3 messages in a row. Still need to figure that out a little bit better. But Streamlabs I've incorporated into this, so it'll start keeping track, and we're going to start having channel points. I'm not going to get too deep into this because I've tried, I know some streamers get really, really into it and it starts to get overwhelming at some point, but in flights and flight simulator content, takeoff and landing are obviously exciting and they're fun to watch. Once you get up there cruising, especially if you're on a 2-hour flight, it can start to get boring, and especially for me too. And so, I've got some things that with the chat, they're going to be coming and involving like channel points. And so the more you watch, the more points you'll accumulate. And then I'm just going to have some fun things that you can use in the chat and trigger in the chat for different things. Games, talking, some things. One of them involves Corporate Pilot Dad. So look forward to that, Tim. You don't know what it is, but it's going to be fun. But I'm going to have that coming out too. It's not in this one, obviously, right now. Like, it wouldn't work if we tried to do it now, but that'll be coming up. There's some different sound clips, that you guys can trigger now and then if you want, basically to trade your channel points in for. But just something to kind of add another level to the experience, and if you like to tune into these streams, obviously. If you watch streaming, or if you're familiar with streaming, it's nothing new. I mean, you probably know how that works with a lot of other streamers, but just wanted to let you know I am going to incorporate it here on the stream and hopefully add another element to the chat over there, so that if I'm preoccupied with some stuff here and not really paying attention to it, there'll be something in there to add a little extra fun to the chat, especially with the bot over there using its bot capabilities to run a lot of that stuff. So it doesn't make sense. I'm just rambling about it now, but I'll run a video about it and stuff once I put it into motion. And so everybody's familiar with it and how to use it. And I think it'll add another level of fun to the stream. So, bug. Between Fillet and Eddie on the way to LAX, I hit activate. Between Fillet and Eddie, I hit activate. I'm guessing you're talking about probably like an approach or something. I'm guessing that's what you're thinking. Yeah. Yeah, I need to look up and see who it was. It was somebody on like the Working Title Discord that designs liveries on there, and I just asked him if he wanted to make me one because I wanted to. Once I finish this cockpit, I thought I need a custom one for, the Citation Longitude. So, but yeah, it was worth it. Like I said, I think it was like $15, and so there's some on there, some guys that do it like, I don't know if they do it for a living, but they're really good at it. And it may cost you $30, $40, $50, but I figured for this one, I would just get something, because I'm not good enough to do it, and yeah, but yeah, check them out. I can send you a link to the guy. Or you could also probably go on flightsim.to and look at the liveries on there and start to see, like, maybe the people making them. You might start to pick out, oh, that guy's made a lot of them. Maybe you could just shoot him a message and ask him if he does custom stuff. You never know. So, all right. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you guys very much for stopping by. And, yeah, just keep an eye on the channel. Probably here. That's nice. An American flight just took off right in front of us. Probably here in about another 2 or 3 days, you'll probably see another one pop up for another stream, probably at night. Maybe Wednesday night is what I'm shooting for, so just keep an eye out for that. And otherwise, we will see you then. I want to have some outro music here, but I've turned off the music, so let's start one up. There we go. All right. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for stopping by. We will see you next time.
Cold inside, tore my mind, stole my peace. I prayed for ease but feared that my days were over.